Aline Ponce, and I'm here with my good, amazing friend Tim Delgado.
How's it going, everyone?
And we just wanted to explore a little bit of different topics and just kind of see what comes up, and offer everyone an opportunity to participate at whatever level, whether it's just by viewing this video or tuning in later and sending questions or whatever. Just wanted to open up a field where we can be our true selves and participate in the energy flow of life and explore the topic of relationship, human relationship. And since it's one that no one can is safe from, we are all out there in the world having relationships, whether it's parental or intimate relationship or friendships or working relationships. And it feels like it's been a really relevant topic in my own life, where I've experienced a huge amount of growth and understanding for myself when it comes to the idea of what it is to relate to another human being, and of course many painful moments which are also part of the journey itself, to understand that those feelings of negativity that can surface and get triggered in us are there to actually guide us towards healing and the path that is more in tune with who we are and what we are here to learn and experience. And I felt that since Tim and I have had so many exchanges about the topic in the past, whether we were talking about things that we've noticed when working with clients or in our own lives and shared our personal experiences with each other, I felt it would be relevant to bring this topic to the table and just kind of see what flows. And
I think it's a good topic. And it's funny because yesterday a friend from the Valley, we're here in California, she messaged me to channel her a message about a relationship, and I put a piece of that channeled message on Facebook, and I got a lot of people responded to it, but it was about the thing about twin flame came up, and my guides always told me, like, soulmates, twin flames, you guys sometimes just try to lock them into intimate relationships, but sometimes it's different people. But in that message, maybe I could look it up.
Yeah. I think I responded to it because I really resonated with it. And
should we read it?
Yeah, let's read it.
It up?
I think I have it here.
It's interesting. I even got surprised after, like, wow, that was pretty deep.
Yeah, let me bring up here on my phone. This is one of the advances of technology. We can do this online real quick. Okay, so I'm gonna let you read it. I think it's here somewhere. Oh, there you go.
It's a part of a bigger message, but I'm just gonna read this part. Let me expand it. There we go. So it says, the problem is that some people passionately believe that there will not be anyone better for them than their last partner. That is the illusion of what you call the twin flame. When we say the universe is abundant in all areas. There will always be someone else that will reflect more of your light to you in a different, unique way. For the universe knows variety, and every day you are learning more about yourself. You are removing layers of illusions all the time. Change is the only constant. So be open to everything and attached to nothing, and see the person you will attract from that vibration. And the message they gave me, they said they were the collective consciousness. They told me the collective, but I just put the collective consciousness, and it's part of a bigger message. So let's see what people left.
I actually liked it because to me what really felt true was the fact that a lot of times when we are in different levels of vibration, we tend to attract in our lives relationships that will reflect that level of our vibration. And a lot of times when we are going through a lot of inner turmoil, whether it's feelings of loneliness or isolation or neediness, will tend to attract people who will reflect that back to us. And that's usually when we're in the desperation of finding a life partner or finding our soulmate or finding. And a lot of times what ends up happening is that in the beginning it feels as if the relationship is a salvation. It's a true salvation, because it for a while it masks all those feelings of loneliness. It masks all of those feelings of feeling unloved and disconnected. And for a while you're having fun and connecting and loving and exploring this new person, it feels amazing. It feels that it kind of covers all that pain. And yet sooner or later what starts happening is that the relationship will begin to trigger all those unlooked at feelings of neglect or fears of abandonment and deeper issues that we use things, whether it's an addiction or a relationship, to cover it up. And relationships do become a great point of reflecting back to us where we are. Mirrors, exactly. And instead of blaming our partners, instead of saying this is your fault, because it's very normal in a way to start now saying that your partner is responsible for those feelings of unworthiness, those feelings of feeling abandoned, those feelings of feeling angry or sad, when in reality you had all those things before you went into the relationship. And so therefore it gives us an opportunity, an incredible opportunity, to really look at ourselves and take responsibility for our own work, rather than telling someone else. It's like we're all tending to our own gardens. And if we all nourish those plants and those flowers with love and respect and care, then when you meet another person who is doing the same to their own garden, it can be a beautiful experience of sharing and partnership and joy and happiness. And yet if you begin to pass on your responsibility to that person, like you're the one responsible for watering my plants, then suddenly there creates this codependent, very very attachy, needy, unhealthy relationship, which is it gives us so much momentum to go into the dark parts of our vibration, and therefore just continue to bring those things about, because it is about law of attraction. So before we go out there and start looking for a partner, the best thing would be if we were taught that, first take care of your vibrational space.
Take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself. Make sure that you're really good with everything here before you start, going out and intending to find someone to share your life with. Because if you're putting the cart before the horse type of thing, there's no way it's going to grow. There's no way it's going to move forward in a good, healthy, authentic way. It's just going to feel pushy, forced, and just all these icky feelings will start to surface. So
and it's kind of like sometimes I get clients that are like, no, that's because my partner this and that, and I'm just like, I mean, that's okay, but what I do when something happens in a relationship, I question myself, like, what part of me attracted this? What part of me is this person reflecting? Like, I attracted this, so I'm not gonna blame that person, because I'm creating my reality. So what programs of mine is she showing to me?
Exactly.
So, and you take more responsibility when you do that, because when you ask your brain something, when you ask your being something, it starts to give you answers sometimes. Sometimes you get an answer, but you're like, oh, no, whatever. And blow it off. But I feel like you always get answers. And I feel like when you start taking responsibility, you start observing yourself. and you start observing your patterns. But a lot of the times it's like this person was like this person was like that, and then you get another person and it's the same thing. And
yeah, it never changes until you begin doing the work to change your beliefs, to change how you react to a situation, and instead of reacting, going inward and trying to do the work that it's required within yourself in order to change the vibration that you're sending out, and picking up different types of partnerships and where they're much more in line with your intentions. Because a lot of times we do have a conscious intention of what we want our relationships to be like, but then the reality of them, it's so opposite, and that creates a feeling of anger and frustration, because in our souls we know what we are capable of. We know our deepest, most pure intentions, and when we are not living that, it feels like there is a disconnect, and that is what creates pain. So in a sense, the pain that we feel in our experience through relationship is a blessing, is to be seen as like, this is my mechanism to show me that something here is not quite right, and what is it? And instead of doing the blame game, which only triggers your partner's pain and issues to come to the surface, and then it becomes like a a ping pong game where he's blaming you for his unhappiness and unfulfillment, and then you're blaming him, and back and forth, and anger, and to the point where you either move away from the relationship and end it, or you become so addicted to the drama, because the ego loves that. The ego feeds itself from it, and also the more pain you feel, the more contrast you get to experience when things are good. And that's why a lot of relationships have this back and forth of like fighting, and then love making and peacemaking, and then back to the fight, because you get addicted to the huge contrast that you get to experience, and that to the ego is exhilarating. It's like going on a roller coaster ride. You never know what you're gonna get, and one of our 6 human needs is variety, and we don't, sometimes when things are too stable, like we start getting bored, like, oh, something's wrong here, we're not fighting enough, what's going on? So we're so addicted to variety that in a sense, if we can't find variety in other things, we're going to try to create it in our relationship.
And it's true. It's like people, the game of the relationship becomes more important than the relationship itself.
And the ultimate purpose.
It gets bored. It gets boring, I guess. But sometimes, like, I feel like it just popped in my head right now. I feel like if you want a life coach, look at your partner that you're with, because whatever you don't like about them, they're reflecting that part. It's you.
And that's why it feels so because you don't want to admit sometimes to yourself, like, wow, I have a lot of work to do here.
So they're unconscious life coaches.
Exactly.
So they're reflecting a part of you to you, and sometimes we don't want to see it, and we just want to win the argument. We want to win our point of view, but they're reflecting something. And
so today I would like to just offer one little I would say technique that you can begin applying, and it doesn't require a lot of understanding. It just requires a willingness, which is every time you get triggered by something that your partner does, instead of going into reaction mode, to give yourself a few minutes to process whatever came up for you, and try to look at it and really honestly question yourself. Why this comment or this thing that my partner did triggers me so much, and is it what is in me that still needs some healing that I haven't been able to look at, that maybe I need to start paying attention to. And then when things are a little bit more calm, come to your partner and be able to voice that as well, without using you words and using more I statements. So my first technique would be within your relationship to start using I sentences. So instead of saying you did this and you made me feel this way and start using more the I felt very triggered when this happened, because I think there is a feeling in me of feeling unworthy when I hear you say these words. or when I feel that I'm disconnected from you, it causes a feeling of fear inside of me because I feel I'm going to be abandoned, or I am abandonable. And that creates a lot of anxiety for me. And this is what happens. And so to share your personal experience with your partner in a way where you're becoming more vulnerable in front of that person, and that to me is true intimacy. Being naked with someone physically is only a part of it. Being naked with them spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, that's where the work begins. And
that's where I used to close up.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're used to not feeling met. So when that happens, you create walls to protect yourself on those levels, and the physical becomes easy, but then the other stuff is like really the tricky part. That's really where trust comes in, where having the intention to grow be so much bigger than the fear of being vulnerable, because it does require vulnerability, because you have to express everything to that person in a healthy way.
And even when like people have a breakup or whatever, sometimes it's hard to forgive that person because nobody wants to look at themselves. That's why forgiveness is hard for some people, but they did that to me. And it's just like, if you knew how everything was working, kind of like you said, law of attraction. If you knew that you're creating a reality, you're bringing those people to your life, you realize that you're doing it.
Yeah.
Your programs are doing it. So if you understand that, you're gonna understand that it's easier to forgive them.
Yeah.
Because you did it, and they were just there to show you that, and in a way you could like thank them, like, wow,
thank them for being a great teacher for you, for inspiring you to really search for the answers rather than dwell in the problem and the victim role of, oh, see, this is what keeps happening to me. Because the more you say that, it's like you're putting that vibe out there. This keeps happening to me. And then, of course, the universe is just going to give you more. And then instead of saying that, like really internally saying, is this what I choose? And if it's not what you consciously choose, then make other decisions. And slowly but surely, it's almost like creating a habit, like exercise. You gotta, they say it takes so many days to make something into a habit. And it's like just creating that habit. Every time the negative thought pattern pops into your head, to just be able to say, no, this is not one I'm choosing to focus on. I'm going to focus on the fact that I am becoming the person that I am intending, and just continue doing the work, because that will give you the confidence. And then once life starts reflecting that energy back, it's just more evidence that yes, you're doing the work, and here's how the universe is responding. And it just it creates the momentum in the right direction instead of the momentum in the opposite direction, where you're no longer choosing to go. So that's pretty much it. And it feels like a blessing. It is a blessing. Don't beat yourself up over it. Having 3 relationships that ended badly is better than to closing yourself off in a cave and just say, I'm not doing this anymore, because then the issues are still there, and the relationship now is giving you an opportunity to work it out. And it's better to put yourself out there and really have the intention of like, I'm going to use this relationship to grow, and this is my first and foremost intention. And then wonderful things can come out of it, and everything becomes a celebration,
like great lessons. And I want to add the spiritual part into it too. It's always, whether you're in a relationship or not, always take the time to know yourself more. Work on yourself. Always take that time to just keep digging inside of yourself. Because the more you do that, the more you're going to understand yourself, the more you're going to understand that you've been creating everything, and the more you're going to change your current relationship or attract a better one. Sometimes you start changing, you start getting to know yourself, and then this person leaves. But that's part of the show. That's part of the game. And sometimes we feel down, but it's like sometimes people leave your life for a reason. But always, my message is always keep in mind, always work on yourself, always question everything. Question the way you react, like she was saying. But I want to do a technique. Can we do a technique?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Where you can pick a situation in your relationship, and we're gonna let you get the answers. Usually, me and her do channeling, and we channel for people, and we get a lot of people asking us about relationships. But today, we're gonna see how you guys get your answers. And if you guys get answers, you guys can respond at the bottom of this video so everyone else can see. But your mind, your being always gives you the answers. Always. So we're going to get into a meditative state and we're going to ask these questions. We're going to ask, what is the root of this situation or problem? A lot of the times we think it's our current relationship, and the image that pops in is something that happened when you were like 5 or 7. Next question, who's the root person? A lot of the times we think it's a past relationship, and it goes down to your mom or your dad. Those were our first 2 relationships, and from there it trickles out into all other relationships. After that, we're gonna ask another question: where in my body am I storing this situation, this problem? And then after that, we're gonna ask, what is my lesson in this? You might not get answers for all of them, or you may get answers for all of them. But just be open. Don't try to look for the answer. It's going to flash in your mind. It's the first thing that pops in your head. We're going to be flowing energy at the same time, me and her, so you guys could get into a more meditative state, and so you guys could get more clearer answers. So, yeah, we're going to hold space, but keep in mind you're going to get your answers. So when you're ready, you could begin to close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Breathe out. Relax your shoulders. Relax your throat. Relax your tongue and jaw. Relax your eyes. Let them rest in their eye sockets. Relax every muscle in your face. And take a deep breath. And breathe out and let go. And mentally call on your guides and angels. So just mentally say guides and angels. And take a deep breath. And breathe out and let go. And just relax. So when I tell you to breathe in, while you're breathing in, you're going to ask the question. And remember, you don't have to look for it. It's the first thing that flashes into your mind. Your guides and angels are going to help you look for this. They're going to flash whatever it is. So relax, let go, and take a deep breath. And ask, what is the root of this problem? And now take a deep breath and ask, who is the root person? Breathe in. And breathe out. Observe your thoughts for answers. The next question. Where in my body am I storing this situation? Take a deep breath. And breathe out. We're going to add one more question. What belief is causing this situation? Breathe in. And breathe out. And the last question, what is my lesson in this? Take a deep breath. And breathe out. Just take a deep breath. Breathe out. And when you're ready, you could open your eyes. Wow. Hope you guys feel good. How do you feel?
Very good. Thank you.
Did you get answers?
Yeah, for sure. And the additional question there was very good. Yeah. Because I do believe a lot of times it's just restructuring our belief
Yeah.
It's where you begin to see your energy shifting as well,
Yeah.
because those beliefs have such a grip on our system
Yeah.
that unless you begin to dissolve and look at it straight at that belief, without anger, without hate, without judgment, but just look at it and see it. Whether it's the belief that I am not worthy of love, or I'm not worthy of having a partner that is very loving and accepting of who I am, whatever the belief is, unless you're willing to look at it and dissolve and to know at the core of your being, with every cell in your body, that as long as you're alive, you're worthy, and we are all worthy of having those things. And immediately it starts to shift the energy to a more positive, higher vibration state, where we actually begin to align with the partner that is out there, willing and able to give us that very thing that we've been intending and consciously choosing. So
break out of that cycle.
Exactly.
So
woohoo!
Yeah, I feel like there's 2 steps. If you got a root person, that's one of the root persons that you have to forgive. Maybe it's someone from the past. So forgive, and then the next step, figure out the belief, the program you created from that root person. It might have been when you were small, but you picked up something, and change that belief. And that's because your beliefs determine what movies you play in your head.
And they're very powerful.
The movies you're playing in your head is going to create your reality. So, yeah.
And so empowering yourself is a huge step forward, and creating the relationships that you really choose and want for your life and for yourselves. So thank you so much for joining us today. And we look forward to, coming together again and making other videos about different topics, and we are open also to suggestions and whatever else comments or questions you may have. We look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Check out her website.
Check out both of our websites if you want more personal one-on-one coaching or readings. We both enjoy working on that level with clients, and it's a very powerful way to, sometimes we even block ourselves, so it's good to have that technique of allowing someone to maybe indicate us where to look, and it feels powerful too.
And her website, you'll find a link to my website.
Exactly. Thank you guys so much. Have a blessed, wonderful
Have a good day.
And happy relationships to all of you.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
It's alright. You could never mess up your life.